This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
This program is supported by Bank of Commerce, an affiliate of San Miguel Corporation. We think customers. BMEG Premium at Protect Plus Gold. Sama-sama sa laban, walang iwanan.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. We are on Facebook Live on Eagle News and Net25 TV and also on our streaming site eaglenewslive.com. Watch us on our YouTube channel at Net25 TV. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. The only solution that allows the Philippines to fully open the economy is vaccinating the employed sector. Lumagpas na nga sa mahigit 1 milyon ang kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa. We are at war with an invisible enemy and the only weapon to win the war is the vaccine. Subalit nakakapagtaka na marami ding mga Pilipino ang ayaw mabakunahan sa gitna ng giyera sa pandemya. These and the views of the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and Go Negosyo founder Joey Concepcion will shed light on the problems surrounding vaccination and why he believes that vaccination will expedite the country's return to economic recovery. All these in this week's episode of Open for Business.
Bank of Commerce. What we are is personal banking, where we understand that every deposit is your hard-earned money. Every loan is for good reason. Every service aids in your convenience. Every business of ours is meant to grow yours. We hear you, feel you, and we act on your every banking need. Bank of Commerce, an affiliate of San Miguel Corporation.
This program is supported by China Bank. Your success is our business.
Open for Business is back, and with me is the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and Go Negosyo founder, Joey Concepcion. Magandang araw po, PA Joey.
Magandang araw rin.
Sir, there's a new classifications which was declared by the Office of the President during the briefing recently. Are you expecting this, Sir Joey? And do you think that this is still on track as we open the economy?
Well, it's basically an extension for another 2 weeks, which I already expected, considering that the cases are going down, but still at a very slow pace, no? And you know, nakikita natin that we've already basically gone through how many weeks? A month na yata to. So just to be able to ensure that the whole lockdown really worked, I guess another 2 weeks. But of course, it comes with a lot of sacrifices. No, when you lock down that long, you really uh, affect more entrepreneurs. No, and maski yung may na are surviving, barely surviving, are really going to be more affected now. No, definitely. So but it's very difficult, no, to make that decision, because one or the other. I mean, you go to livelihood, then you affect lives, and if you go to life, you affect livelihood. So uh, I've always said to many people, we are, for the last 1 year and a quarter, or slightly more than a quarter, we have been through this, and the only weapon that we've used was social distancing, wearing a face mask and shield. And that is not going to solve the pandemic, nor will it solve the economic problem. It will just buy you time to survive.
PA Joey, there's been a lot of data figures on the losses due to the lockdowns. So any specific updates po on, because syempre every time we lock it down, there are quarantines. Definitely it will impact on the growth, kasi lalo na in-expect natin, as we all know po, that the economy contracted by what's the rate? I think that was 9.5. So in terms of losses po, any specific losses in terms of volume po, and how do you think can we arrest this po?
Well, the official losses in what they call the official economy, we have a huge underground economy here, which is really not documented. No, many of our micro and small and startup type, and the official business is not really very documented. So if you can see the magnitude what DTI has reported in the billions, I mean, you can see in a way, just doing a survey of all the entrepreneurs, you will see that many of them are struggling, and there are sectors that are spared, no, those that are in the essential sectors, no doubt about that, those in food, medicine, critical services, and the like, no. But yung iba, retail, yung mga restaurants, alam mo naman Filipino, ang dami natin restaurants dito, halos punong-puno din, mga restaurants, mga retail stores. Right. In the tourism alone, all of those hotels, motels, and whatever, and all of them are hurt, badly. It's not just this lockdown; it's the continuous open-close type of thing that really disrupts all the economy. And it's the solution really is not an economic solution. It's a health solution, and that's why as strategists, and many entrepreneurs are strategists. They look at the business model, they find out, okay, how do you attack the enemy? So entrepreneurs are used to warfare. So in this case, if I were to look at it, what is your real solution? The real solution is the vaccine, because that is the only one that you have a chance to eradicate and temper down the infection. Social distancing, wearing a face mask will help, but it does not eliminate the enemy at all. It prevents you from infection. But then again, there is only so much you can do of that. After a while, you can see yung mga Filipino, nasasawa na rin, napapagod na rin dyan. In the end, they just go out because hindi nila kaya just to isolate themselves. And kung wala pa sila ng trabaho, anong gagawin nila? So then that's why you see the surge in infection, because people are tired of wearing face masks. They go out and they sit down with friends, they drink, ganyan. So karamihan yan nasa barangay, no? Uh, but that's the situation, and that's why,
Mhm.
as the private sector, where did we focus? We focused on the principal weapon in winning this war, which is the
Mhm.
vaccine. And
Mhm.
that's why sumali kami dito sa pagbili ng mga bakuna kasi alam namin yung government may limitasyon sa mga gagawin nila. So yung una in last year with AstraZeneca, the government could not buy those vaccines because
Mhm.
AstraZeneca did not have any MHRA approval yet. No? So, but the private sector, we can risk our money, we can throw it, and we can lose it because it's our own money. But at government, that's public sector money, no? So
Mhm.
that's the money of the people. So they have to be more careful,
Mhm.
and that's why we were able to buy these vaccines at a very good price because it's
Mhm.
intended for governments of different countries. No?
Mhm.
So yun ang solution namin, and that's why we're putting all our focus in this aspect. Nung una, we put our focus in testing, no? Kasi in warfare, yung kalaban natin invisible. So you have to create
Mhm.
visibility. So testing creates visibility. So those two were the areas that the private sector focused on, no? Creating visibility to testing and
Mhm.
finding the way to kill the virus is the basically your vaccine.
Mhm. So it's good, PA Joey, that you mentioned that the private sector is really focusing on those two areas, testing and now vaccination. So, but as a country po, can you consider um, the Philippines as one of those that that's responding quickly to those two areas, economic support and helping employees stay in the work process?
Of course, I don't think we can respond as fast as those countries who produce their own vaccines, no, and who have the wealth to be able to keep providing the people with financial support, what we call ayuda. There's a limitation to all of this. We are not an American company. I mean, an USA, where we are a growing economy, a fast-growing economy. But of course, we have our limitations. It's only now that we are getting some share of that vaccine. But even though you can see Moderna has been delayed,
Mhm.
Pfizer is coming in, but we don't have fixed dates yet. No, they're very fluid. But yes, they're coming in. But that's when America has basically vaccinated most of their people already. No, so they're now releasing it to the other countries, and hopefully we get our share. So you can see very well that it is all related. Israel is doing well, Singapore is doing well. I
Mhm.
mean, all those countries who implemented this vaccination program are definitely going to do well.
There is this House Bill number 9252, or the proposed COVID-19 Vaccination Program Act of 2021. Was the private sector or you have been consulted, and what are your insights on this proposed vaccination program?
Well, House Bill 9252 is basically authored by Epil, Epildio Park Zaga, no? He's
Mhm.
Congressman, 4th District. And I just asked my team to research if anyone has filed a bill really sort of mandating that, what do you call this, vaccination be mandated in the Philippines. In other words, everybody should take the vaccine. Of course, that is the um, very strong position if you would to go that direction. I don't know if there's any country in the world that has gone to that extent. No, but I would like to stress that even if we buy the vaccines and only 60% of our people will take it, because in the research that they have done with Pulse Asia, uh, it shows that 61% we're going to 61% were going to take it. In other words, 40% did not want to take it. No?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if that happens, then you will not be successful. So when I look at it, and I talked to Secretary Bello one night, and I told him, Sec, we've been working with uh, Sec for quite some time in many issues, and this I told him is I know that. management cannot fire laborers who don't want to take the vaccine. And I agree to that at this point in time. But we have to remember that we are at war. And when your country calls you to duty, what do? If you say no, there are penalties behind that, right? It's you can be jailed in other countries, or you can have serious. It can affect you seriously. So we have to look at this pandemic equal to war. No? It's the war that we are not using artilleries and bombs and all of that. What's happening here is that the infection is from something that you don't see. Basically, it's what we see in the movies, in all of these zombies. So here, rather than spirit going to you, it is the virus going to you. Parang, Walking Dead, no? Although you're not eating people, infection is happening and they're starting to get sick and die, no? So it's similar. So how do you do that? I mean, we are at war. So your only recourse is, rather than carry a gun, is to take the vaccine. That is your weapon. You protect yourself and you protect the people around you. That is a simple weapon that you have. Now, depending on the gun you choose, whether it's AstraZeneca, Moderna, or Novavax, or Pfizer, syempre, yung ibang baril dyan, magaling, mas matulin, yung 95% efficacy. If I relate it, no? Yung mahinang baril dyan, syempre, may palpak, no? Hindi yan, yung walang, baka sumabo pang baril mo. So if you look at that, that's how I look at it. So now, are we going to wait for more people to die? There are two ways of dying here. Either dying because of the virus or dying because of hunger.
On the fear of this 40% of Filipinos as a result of this survey, where do you think is this fear coming from? Bakit takot yung 40%, Sir Joey?
Well, I think one is education. Many of our people, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid, are in a way not being given enough advice, no, and in simple explanation why they have to take the bakuna. Pero ngayon nakikita ko sa sobrang taas ng infection, more and more people are getting scared. So maybe that's the way to do it, no? The more fear there is, when they start to see yung mga kamag-anak na namamatay, lahat nasa hospital na walang oxygen. So ngayon, it's trickling down, no? But meron pa rin dyan na matigas ng ulo at gusto na, bahala ng iba. Dito na ako dito sa lugar namin. So you have those types of people, no? And that's why we have launched tomorrow, we're launching Let's Go Bakuna. It's a campaign of the private sector to encourage our employees to really take the vaccine. And this is the only way that we can save both lives and livelihoods. And here, of course, we have a stake, no? Yung mga negosyo namin. Kung sirado ang economy, we have to close the business. You will have to let go of your workers, and the workers will have nothing to do. Then you create poverty because wala silang pagkain, wala silang medicina. So you will have those two problems, because then you still have your health issue because they don't want to take the vaccine, and you will have more closures because we are closing down the economy. So you don't have a good solution. So the only way, if people will still refuse, then you have to mandate. Of course, we should not get to that point. No, I mean that should be the last resort.
Sir Joey, you mentioned about Let's Go Bakuna campaign, and of course, this addresses misinformation and of course the hesitancy of some Filipinos, as you mentioned. Are there initiatives of the private sector, of the companies, making sure that this is free, this is safe? And for the private sector, I think there were issues also of the private sector buying their own vaccines and the choice of the brands of the vaccines. Are there any developments on this that can be emulated or also duplicated by the other members of the business community?
Basically, the private sector initiated the first tripartite agreement. This is the dose of hope of Conegosyo with AstraZeneca. No? So from that led to a tripartite agreement with Secretary Galvez, AstraZeneca, and ourselves. No? That is basically an order of 17 million doses, 17 million from the private sector and the LGU. Following that, you had the birth of Moderna, and then eventually you have Novavax. Then now you have Covaxin. So these are basically the vaccines that the private sector has a handle with government. No?
Some of the institutions already reported their projections. I think we saw data from ADB, also World Bank on the GDP growth. Some look at it at 4.5, 4.6. Sa inyo, Sir Joey, which of the figures do you think is realistic now that we have already entered the second quarter? So what's your outlook of the Philippine economy po?
So the longer you lock down, the more damage you do to the economy. But fortunately, I've seen the lockdown. I mean, we've looked at our sales. Of course, we're in the essential sector, so it's hard to read. We've not done bad. We've done pretty good. But what I'm trying to say is that there's an opportunity. We have elections in 2022. We have the fourth quarter, which is the end of this year, October, November, December, which is the highest point when everybody starts to do well, sell well, because everybody's buying gifts, everybody's giving things, retail, food, etc. Now, we have the vaccines arriving on June, and quite a number of that. So I think by doing this extension for 2 weeks of May 16, gives enough preparation for everybody, so that when the vaccine comes in, and this is my appeal to DOH and NITAG. NITAG is the group of doctors who advise DOH on how to handle all of these pandemic situations and what vaccines to be approved, etc., etc. And they're also helping and guiding on how private sector will adhere to the priority sectors, A1, A2, A3, A4. Especially we belong to the A4 economic frontliners. And my appeal to them is, please be flexible. Allow the private sector who bought the vaccines to vaccinate all their employees. Yes, we may siguro the manager na una, and then the frontline worker nahuli kasi na-late siya. Let's not mind that, because within that period, everybody will be vaccinated. It's not going to be like doing LGU where it will take time because of the number of people. But in a company, if you have 1,000 people, you will take you only 3 days to vaccinate all of them. So they should give the company the flexibility. We bought the vaccines for our employees, and some did also buy for their families. So let us implement according to the positions of these people. So hopefully they agree. And that gives us more flexibility, because it's speed that's important. So this is where we now see, how do you go to warfare? You have your bala, you have your gun. Now, how do you implement? And it's the implementation that is critical. How do you convince your soldiers, your employees, who are your soldiers, to take the vaccine? Because when they take the vaccine, you already won half of the battle, because they will now protect themselves. So that's important. So, and that's what we hope to execute from June to July, August, and hopefully we should be finished by September, especially those who have the vaccines arriving earlier. So come the fourth quarter, what has happened? If the public sees that millions of people are being vaccinated, not just 1 million, 1.5, no, millions, I'm saying 3 million, 4 million, 5 million a month. Focus on NCR. And if NCR can be finished in the month of before the end of this year, your last quarter will be a good quarter. You have elections pending there, which is going to be huge, because it is the presidential election in 2022. So I'm sure people will start being more generous. No? If you want to win this election, people are going hungry. So a lot of people will be supporting the poor for sure. Of course, you have got the economic stimulus package of the government, which is being implemented now. So to me, the last quarter could be a turnaround quarter that may lead towards a better 2022. So I believe that there will be more supply of vaccines in the year 2022. It will not be as bad as 2021. So we can now deploy faster. I'm sure we will not be able to finish the entire vaccination of our people, but by year 2022, first quarter, I'm sure that you'll be able to complete that. And now you fight for your next level of a new gun, which is the booster shot, no? Because this is not gonna end. No? You will have now to have a booster shot, whether it's a booster shot or a third dose. That's going to be important, and that's where we have to now work on securing that this third dose will reach us. No? Whether it's called a booster or a third dose, that's going to be very important, because you can lose your immunity the moment these vaccines, wane on you. So you have to have already a plan to secure your booster shots.
Wow, this has been a very insightful conversation, Sir Joey. Before we end the conversation po, if we can request you to have a message to small businesses, especially po yung mga entrepreneurs po na nahihirapan din, who really want to bounce back during the pandemic.
So I'd like to maybe give more hope to our small entrepreneurs there who have been struggling through the years. Go Negosyo, together with the Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Agriculture, and TESTA, has been mentoring many of our micro and small entrepreneurs. They run into the thousands today. Go Negosyo is hitting close to 2 million followers. That's to show you the massive impact that we've created in helping our MSMEs. And I know, karamihan sa inyo talagang you are feeling the biggest challenge of your life. And we're here to help you in whatever way we can. And now, it's not only that we're helping through our mentoring program, yung mga mentors namin who are offering free services and working with DTI and DA on online mentoring programs that is very effective, especially at a time like this when people need to be consoled. When you have a problem, all you need to do is talk to a mentor to encourage you. But we have also focused our efforts to really helping solve the health problem. And don't lose hope. We are here to help you.
That's the perfect way to end this conversation. Open for Business will be back. We had the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and Go Negosyo founder, Sir Joey Concepcion. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This portion is brought to you by North Luzon Express Terminal.
Sa panahon na laganap ang mga sakit, katuwang nyo ang BMEG Premium at Protect Plus Gold. Gawa sa state-of-the-art facilities ang BMEG Premium Feeds. Kaya ito ay safe, sanitized, and hygienic. Walang dalang sakit, certified, malinis, sariwa at sigurado. At para laging malinis ang paligid, gumamit ng Protect Plus Gold. Isang safe broad-spectrum disinfectant na pumapatay ng mga virus, bacteria at fungi. BMEG Premium at Protect Plus Gold. Sama-sama sa laban, walang iwanan.
This portion is brought to you by Security Bank.
Thank you for watching Open for Business. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business, and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News and at Net25 TV. And you can watch this again in the video section of the Eagle News and Net25 Facebook pages and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Net25 TV. Thank you again for watching for Open for Business. This is Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times.
This program is supported by Bank of Commerce, an affiliate of San Miguel Corporation. We think customers. BMEG Premium at Protect Plus Gold. Sama-sama sa laban, walang iwanan.
Events happen around us all the time.